Hey guys, it's Joe again. I just want to take a little time to share some things with you tonight. Just want to let you know this will be the last one this week. Next week, I'm going to be cutting back to two times a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. This is my first week trying Facebook Live, so I kind of jumped in with both feet and hands and everything else. And so next week, I'm going to cut back to Tuesdays and Thursdays. And what I want to share with you tonight is the theme Pinball or Purpose. And so my question for you tonight is, are you going through life like a pinball in a pinball machine, or are you moving forward through your life with a purpose? And before I get into the SMART goals that I mentioned on my Facebook page earlier, I do want to share with you one story about my life. What happened was I graduated from Jeff County High School, go Patriots, and right after that I went to Carson-Newman College, which is now called Carson-Newman University. And I'd always had a dream of going in the military. So while I was there, I applied for a 3-year scholarship. I got the scholarship. And so that set me on my path of finishing school in 4 years, which only about 19% of the people do that start college actually finish in 4 years, according to one study I read. So there was my first goal that I accomplished, finishing in 4 years. And the thing was that if you got a scholarship, 2, 3, or 4 year, it usually meant you were going straight into the Army, which is great because that's what I wanted to do. The only thing was I didn't plan on one thing. I didn't plan on the Berlin Wall coming down before I graduated. And when that happened, everything froze. The Army and the military in general weren't sure what we're going to be doing next, what our missions were. So they kind of froze everything for a while. I found out right before graduation I did not get active duty. Now, I'd been planning for this for 4 years. I'd planned on going to the military, made all my plans, and suddenly I was without a job, hadn't written a single resume, but it was okay because I immediately found a job at a boys' home, at a group home as a house parent. So when I was out of this group home, part of my pay was I got free food. And you know, when you're there and you're working with the kids and these high-risk teenagers, there was a program that they were going through, and part of that program was they had a 10 p.m. snack. Well, being the good house father that I was, I didn't want the kids to eat alone, so I ate with them at 9 and 10 o'clock at night. And so I put on a lot of pounds before going into the Army. So when I went to my basic course, I was met with a new set of challenges. I was overweight and out of shape. And there was a war going on, so we had to get in shape and fit and really fast. So what happened was I set goals for myself. I determined that I still wanted to go active duty. Well, to do that, there were only 2 slots available in a class of about 40 to 50 officers. And to do that, obviously, I couldn't be overweight. I had to be in shape, and I had to do good in school. So what I did, I set goals. I started working my tail off, quite literally. I dropped all kinds of weight. I did great in my classes, graduated second in my class for gunnery. And lo and behold, by the time the school was over, I'd actually won one of those 2 slots for active duty. So I got my dream. I got to go into the active Army. But you see, the goal and the path wasn't a straight course. It wasn't anything like I had pictured it being. It took lots of detours. And I tell you, a lot of the experience and things I learned while I was in the Army and the places I went while I was in the Army really shaped and formed and fashioned me into who I am today. Sort of like what I talked about yesterday, about how don't despise the journey, because my journey did a lot to shape who I am today. So as you see, through that time period, I had to have goals. Some of them were set for me, and some of them I had to set myself. But even the ones that were set for me, I had to make a plan of how to reach them, even when they were telling me how I had to do it or what I had to do. And so what I want to share with you tonight is something called SMART goals. I was in the Army, all kinds of acronyms, OBC, Officers Basic Course, and all kinds of other acronyms. Well, this is an acronym, SMART. SMART goals. It stands for S is specific, M is measurable, A is attainable, R is relevant, and T is timely. Now I'm going to break each one of these down for you. And if you're taking notes, that's great, but if you're not taking notes, that's okay. Just look at my Facebook page and you'll see it there. So, S, specific. Who, what, where, when, why, and which. Define the goal as much as possible with no ambiguous language. Who is involved? What do I want to accomplish? Where will it be done? Why am I doing this? What's your reason, your purpose for this goal? Which constraints or requirements do I have? So anytime you set a goal, you need to be very specific, and you need to figure out the who, what, where, when, why, and which. M is measurable, from and to. Can you track the progress of the measure to the outcome? How much, how many, how will I know when my goal is accomplished? So you need to have something that's measurable. You can't set a goal and have that great purpose, but still go through life like a pinball, just hoping that maybe one day you'll reach your goal. A is attainable. How? Is the goal reasonable enough to be accomplished? How so? Make sure the goal is not out of reach or below standard performance. And actually, I encourage you to, instead of being at standard performance, I encourage you to be above average. It's like I heard a kid once say, he's like, oh, well, a C is average, so a C is okay, so all I have to worry about are C's. Right. Now try to get into a college, especially a college that's very competitive to get into, with a C average. So don't just go for the average, but set your goals high and excel at all that you do. R is relevant, which means worthwhile. Is the goal worthwhile and will it meet your needs? Is each goal consistent with other goals you've established and fits with your immediate and long-term plans? So you don't just need to set a goal to be setting a goal, but you need to have a goal that lines up with the larger goals in your life. T, timely. When? Your objective should include a time limit. I will complete this step by month, day, and year. I knew when I went into college, I had to graduate at the end of 4 years. Otherwise, I would lose my scholarship. So I was on a very specific timeline. When I graduated from my officer's basic course, I had a very specific timeline, and I knew I had to meet all these different requirements before I graduated, which I did. It will establish a sense of urgency and prompt you to have better time management. So whatever you want in your life, I encourage you, don't just go for the status quo. Don't just be happy with average. Don't just be sitting there saying, well, I made it, so I'm okay. Go way above making it. That's why I keep saying that we need to reach higher today and make our some days today. Because you see, I know every one of you have said at some time or another, well, someday I'll do this. Someday I'll do that. Someday I'll do this thing. Someday I'll reach this goal. Did you know that for many people, some days never happen? The only way that they're going to happen is if you set goals and start taking steps toward those things. Don't let things be accidents in your life. I don't really believe in accidents, but don't let them just be an accident in your life. Instead, make a purpose, make a goal, make SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. And it'll be amazing what you'll accomplish in your life. Go for it, guys. I tell you what, you'll be amazed at what you can do. I encourage you, go to my Facebook profile, click on my cover photo, and you can read my life. My life has been a lot of goals, a lot of wins, some losses, some really trying times, but I tell you, my life has been an adventure, and I am richly, richly blessed. All you got to do is read that story on my cover photo. You'll see it there in the write-up by the cover photo, just to find out how richly blessed my life has been. So, that's going to be it for now. Like I said, I'll see you next week. Tuesdays and Thursdays is what I'm shooting for right now. I'll post on Facebook if that's going to change. But I just encourage you guys, set goals for your life. Don't be satisfied with the status quo, and reach higher, because I believe that your some days could be today. Thanks a lot, guys. Be blessed.